Greetings, everybody. Welcome to yet another episode of the Presbytery of the James podcast, Innovate, Ignite, and Inspire. I am Dr. Flo Barbee-Watkins. I serve as the lead presbyter for vision and collaboration, and we are with Reverend Leigh Anne Ring, who is the relational care presbyter for the Presbytery of the James. Again, we are so excited to continue this conversation about you and what you do here in the Presbytery of the James. So let's just dig back in.
Let's do it.
Let's do it. Sounds good. So you've been talking about some of the things that pastors deal with, like loneliness, isolation, having to do too much alone, not having a team of people like we have to support all the aspects of the ministry. So I wanna pivot to something about how we connect them with each other. I mean, I think, and maybe I might be off on this, but I think that those peer relationships are really important when you're serving in parish ministry, whether it's via collaboration. So tell me a little bit how you envision fostering those people getting together.
Sure. I think there are some natural groups that happen. Associate pastors need to talk to other associate pastors. That's a specific role. You have some dynamics going on in that role, and you need to be able to have some colleagues who can hear your stories. Solo pastors of congregations also need to be able to talk to them. Heads of staff, those kinds of sort of natural groupings. I know in the Presbytery we already have a group of moms in ministry. That kind of same identity piece where you have something in common is an easy way to start. And then I think but I think what I love about the church is that we're not all the same. And so while those groups are important, I think when we can look across a spectrum and have people new to the ministry and soon to be retired to the ministry and in the middle, when they have conversations together, there's a lot of energy that can come from that. I've seen pastors who are, nearing retirement get that spark of, oh, I remember when I was, first called, and now I know some things, and, I'm still excited about my call of ministry, which if you're just in a group of folks who are getting ready to retire, you're looking forward to that retirement, not necessarily getting excited, at the end of the ministry, although I think that happens as well. So I think the opportunity to sit back in this position and dream about those different kinds of groups that won't happen perhaps naturally across the presbytery is where I get excited about connecting people, because I think you can sit in the room at the presbytery meeting and say, oh, that person is in a job like me, or I feel drawn to connect to that person, and that will happen naturally. But it's those outside of those boxes groups that I'm really excited about thinking about.
That's awesome. That's awesome. So you mentioned in the previous podcast some of the challenges that you've been hearing that pastors have to contend with. So without revealing any names and trying to keep it as unidentifying as you possibly can you share a particular challenge in a situation that you have supported and offered care to that leader of that congregation?
I think anytime a church is in leadership transition, there's a higher level of anxiety about what's going to happen next. How can we trust the system? How can we trust in the God that we worship? That God will, we believe that God provides us leaders, and yet that doesn't always happen on the time frame that we would like to suggest back to God. And so how do you live in that space, that liminal space of it's coming but not yet? And so as I think about the challenges that I've been in just these 6 months, it's that kind of, you're not alone in this space, and even in this space, whatever you're feeling is okay, and you're also going to be okay. And so that challenge of, don't get ahead of yourself.
Yeah.
Don't try and don't try and jump through a process that is meant to take you through thoughtful conversations and reflections on who you are. And because those reflections are happening on both sides, for the congregation and for the pastor. And I think people want to speed up. People get very uncomfortable about not having that pastoral leadership, and let's just hit the gas. But that's not the way the search goes. It's not a straight drive up 95. There's a lot of other cars on the road. There are a lot of twists and turns to the road. So maintaining some patience and maintaining some faith in the midst of not being able to see what that next thing is. That's one of the big ways that I'm working with congregations.
Yeah, that sounds good. So I'm going to ask you to pretend. All right? I'm going to hand you this magic wand.
Thank you.
Yes.
I really would like you to have a wand here, but okay.
I didn't think to bring one.
Okay.
But you have a magic wand in your hand now, and you can wave it over the Presbytery of the James and create whatever you say right now. What would you create?
Well, that's great power.
I know. That's why it's a magic wand.
Wow. Whatever I would like.
Yes.
I think the song that I'm hearing is "There's a Balm in Gilead," right? And so what I wish to create is not to take away those moments of angst or fear or concern or joy or happiness, but if I could just create a sense of peace in and among whatever part of the journey that the congregation or the pastor is traveling right now. That calm assurance that we can sing about in hymns, but it's harder to live out in person. So again, not to even things out for the actual journey, because I think we learn so much in the peaks and valleys of our journey.
Absolutely.
And if everything were easy, it wouldn't be as important and it wouldn't be valuable to us. So I don't want to take away the hard times, although I'm not wishing hard times upon you. But I wouldn't want to ease them, but I would want to provide a peace.
That's nice. Yeah.
I'm going to keep the wand.
Okay, that's fine. That's fine. Okay. All right, so looking at your role in the Presbytery of the James and your priorities, you've already said listening is a big priority that you have right now, but you can use your wand. It's a year from now. What are some of the things that you are seeing for the future as relates to the Presbytery of the James and your position, and even the three positions together, because we work together as a team. But in the year ahead, it's 2024. What are some of the things you see on that horizon that you would like to be either beginning or in full implementation?
2024, I want pastors knocking down my door to get in a congregation in the Presbytery of the James, because they're so excited about what they've heard, about the way we're working together, about the way we're caring for each other, about the way we're being courageous and living into new models, not just at the presbytery level, but that it goes throughout the whole presbytery, that people are just excited to do the work and ministry of Jesus in this space. And I want my emails full every day. Tell me where I can come and work at the Presbytery of the James. Tell me what's coming up, because I want to be there. I want to be a part of what's going on there. And that's an attainable goal. I mean, that's something we all will work for, and I think we'll see it. I would love to see it. That'd be exciting.
That's awesome. That's awesome. Again, we could just keep talking and
Mm-hmm.
talking. And so we're going to go ahead and do a third
Fantastic.
session with you. Reverend Ring, is a delight being here with you. I am so blessed to serve with you. Thank you, listening friends in the Presbytery of the James and beyond, for listening to our podcast today. We want you to keep on listening, so make certain that you come every week and listen to what we're saying, because we're saying some pretty good stuff here.
Mm-hmm.
And this is how you stay informed of what's going on in the Presbytery of the James and what, even as presbyters, what we're doing. So until next time, stay inspired.